What's up, guys? Can you guys hear me now? Still can't hear me? Oh, okay, perfect. Good morning, guys. How's it going? Happy Sunday. I'm gonna be going through just basically what I do every Sunday, what you guys see in my YouTube videos. I probably won't have the video out till later today, so I kind of want to, whoever's up right now, kind of see how I do it, get these levels early if you guys want to practice it later. Because I probably won't have my video out until after the game today, so figure I'd go on live. So we're gonna go over spy. I'm gonna show you guys. I think we're good enough to go now. It is gonna be recorded, so and then actually I'll do some tickers that you guys like after we get through all these. So we'll go through weekly. So I always do this fresh chart every week. Start at the week. Got in there pretty good. You guys know anything about my teaching style? You guys know I'd love to show you guys how to do this so you do it yourselves. You guys can see why I use this area right here. Get that swing high, swing low area. No, I just do it just to look at it. I don't trade during the week with these zones, but it just helps me know. So I keep an eye on 431.73. If we break above there, then you know on the bigger time frames, there's a good chance we're gonna probably go up to this area. It won't go. We won't get there immediately, but I'll see how we progress towards it if we break above every week. Because I used to be a long dated options trader. So I used to swing month out contracts, and I still stick to the same principles. But now that I switched over to SPX, zero DTEs, I can't really do that anymore because those month out contracts are like 5,000 per contract, 6,000 per contract. But I still kind of look to find my entries aiming for the end goal. Yeah, deeper entry helps with knowing where we should be heading. Kind of give me a guideline, and then I just try to find that key entry and continue to progress towards the final goal. So yeah, definitely if we break 431, we're gonna be in we're gonna be heading to some uncharted territories that we haven't seen in a while since March last year. So that's just what I do. So and then I just save this. And then we go into the daily. You want to see something that's interesting? So this is still my weekly zones, but you see how that lines up pretty good, right? So I could delete this. Yeah. Yeah, I used to be very much long-term swinging options, but that's because the SPY. I'm able to buy those long out contracts for 600, 700 bucks. But then the way with zero DTEs now every day on SPY as well, they've been able to premium burn those long dated contracts better. They weren't able to do that before, so I'd only have to really fight against 3 days of expiration premium burns. Which in hindsight, that was only about, if a month out, I'd look to get that move in 2 weeks. So whenever I take out a month contract, I give myself a 2 week extra buffer, but I'm aiming for those price targets within 2 weeks. So there was really only 5 days of premium burn, but now they could premium burn those every day. So there's 5 days of premium burning in a week, so it doesn't even make it worth it anymore. So I'm just erasing the old lines. Now I'm gonna head towards daily levels. Somebody asked me why I had this level up, because it wasn't really a swing high area. It was just really a trend. It still had a long bearish candle here, and we did kind of retrace. So I did keep this up as an area where there was unfilled orders. As you can see, we did tap it a few times. Got that push down. We finally broke out. I guess I gotta mark out the next zone. In case this week gets a little rocky. We tapped that supply perfectly. I used to swing options. Now I swing SPX contracts. I can trim those contracts any time of the day, pretty much, just 1 hour before opening of market. Well, no, half hour, I believe. So yes, 7:15 is when SPX options are stopped, and then an hour after the market close, I can't use SPX 23.5, but throughout the night, I could trim my contracts once I see it make the move. So I haven't been swinging as much. Actually, I'd never swing anymore because of that. If you have interactive broker, if you don't get it, it'll save you some anxiety of holding contracts that are up 400-500% at night and wake up to it being down 10%. That was what I was starting to hate, and that's why I stopped swinging SPY contracts month out. So make the move one day or at nighttime and then take it all back before market opens. Yeah, I do pay for data on IBKR. Use their Trader Workstation app. That's what we're looking at right now. This is the Trader Workstation app. It's the desktop. Don't think I missed anything. So just to let you guys know, this area, I'll mention it too in my video. I feel more strongly about a bounce below this area than in this area. I think this area will have a better opportunity for a bounce. That's if we retrace. Hourly, which I'll be getting to right now. But this is definitely my zones for the week. This is how I'm looking at it. I do feel like this area's been pretty much dried up. We had 1, 2, 3, 4 moves up compared to just visiting this area once. So I'm definitely going to be looking for a stronger bounce in this area if we retrace all the way back. I'll still test this zone out, probably with less risk than I would with this zone, because I like to test with more risk on, with levels I know that if we do break, we got potential to switch and make that all back. So I do think if we do break 409 next week, which it would be hard to believe, 20 points down, definitely we could see a fast move down here. And let me save this. And then I keep my daily zones up. And I find support resistance, hourly zones. Right off the bat, I can see something in here. You guys can use whatever you use to differentiate your zones. I just shade it out differently. Helps me know it's on a smaller time frame. We tapped that supply perfectly. Wow. This was such a bad, crazy price action when we were here. Yes, Clay, I do use it as a demand. Especially depending on the break of that zone. If it's a strong break, I do believe there's leftover orders there that they'll come back for. And we can gauge by the strength of that break what our bounce will be. So I did have the zone up. Was a supply. We could retrace back. Definitely gonna keep an eye on this level though. Consolidated a bit. Held low. Came back. Bounced off of it. Gapped in here. Came in, tapped it. I think it did give us a reaction as well. Coming into the week. Yeah, we based off there. Definitely gonna stay patient. Yeah, I'm looking for retests here, so if we do break below here, I feel good chance we're gonna come here, probably fill this gap. Yeah, I feel confident about these levels here. I love the pre-market highs. Um, they actually do help a lot on SPY. So what I'm doing right now, I'm trying to find like this area, like a support resistance area. I'm most likely not gonna take like a position right here. I'll rather take a position in here, in here, in here, in here. Well, we were pretty good volume here, so we're gonna see how we open up, right? So if we break below here, say come, we'll see SPX open or ES open up tonight, but my mindset, I'll go over with you guys. I'm just gonna do one more level here and here, and then I'll go over. You trade supply and demand on individuals when SPY and QQ are between levels. No, it's not worth it for me. I just wait. You could though, not to say you can't. That's where I learned supply and demand mostly off of individual stocks. I'm gonna go over my game plan with you guys as well as soon as I get these levels. You guys can see why I did that right there. And you guys kind of see why I did that. That level there, up in the supply zone. Here, I'll give you guys a hint. It's pretty much a supply in on the hourly inside the daily. But instead of drawing that zone out, I do find that now you could just play that, yeah, you could just play that bottom of the zone because they already gave us a top. So definitely don't need to draw out another whole zone inside the zone. I think I'm good with levels here. So now I'll give you guys my game plan on SPY. Well, pre-market will let us know a lot in ES opening tonight, but the way I gauge it every time, I should make some levels up here with the way we've been moving, but I'll come back to that probably Monday. I just know I'll be in calls above here. I hope you guys understand that part. If we break 431.73, definitely want to be in calls more than you are in puts for sure. So we did get a good volume rejection here. Like the candle doesn't represent that volume for sure. So we're gonna have to stay patient. If we break up above here, I'll most likely look to see if we hold this bottom of the zone here. And then we can go test this level, go test this level, and go on. But if we're holding below here, I'm thinking in my head right away, we're gonna go down to retest these levels here. So the first thing I'll look to see is if we're just sitting right here by pre-market, I'll wait to see the open. If we come back to retest here, go on your 5 minutes to 2 minutes, see if sellers are starting to show up as we approach this level. You could take a risky trade there if you like. The opening is fast. You definitely got to cut fast if you don't see any sellers, if you're in puts. But if we just hold, we sit here, we come back and we hold here, I'm definitely looking to see us retest this daily zone. And then I'll make a decision once we get in here. If there's still no sellers, I'll wait to see us hold this level. and I'll probably end up taking calls, risky trade, because we are in a supply zone. But I'm not going to be expecting 1000% on my calls inside this zone. I'm expecting this level first. After that, we can make a executive decision with our position, see how much we want to trim out. So this is basically my front line for tomorrow. Watch how we do here. If we dip below and reclaim this level, I'm not going to take a position. You could if you want, but you know where your stop will have to be. Your stop is going to have to be there. Do not hold to say, okay, maybe I'll average down when we're in here, because we could break this one down and now we're going to be retesting there. Now you're down almost 60% here, and we bounce here, and then now we're all the way back up and you're saying, oh, I should have just held. That's not how trading options should be. There is a buy and a sell button for a reason. So if you have your stop here, just reposition. You do 2, 3, 5% losses on your positions, but say you catch this bounce and we go all the way back up here, you're looking at 1000%er pretty much from up here. So it's all about small losses. It really is. And being able to reposition yourselves, because you know where the areas, if we fall below here, we're going to be testing here. Would you see this zone is only $1, and seeing how we broke out of this zone here, I wouldn't be surprised once you start looking at 2 minutes and 5 minutes confirmations. There should be orders sitting right at the top of this zone. Whenever you see a candle like this breaking, most times that's when I found to be the first touch entries to have some kind of reaction. Do I think it'll go all the way back up here? No. Probably running out of fuel here, so we'll watch how that happens, but they're probably going to need to pick up orders from here to go up there. And you know, if we break below here, we're going $2 down or $1.50 down. This area is a nice R&R zone. It just seems so much better. Like, I definitely want to put more risk on this zone than here, just because the RR is so perfect. Probably take it right at this level right here. But yeah, once again, above here, I'm staying patient. I wouldn't be jumping into puts right away up here. You could take a puts here because you know where your stop is. Just the RR here is it's gonna be a little hectic. Let me save this. Above here, yeah, those are my consolidation. Those are just areas of strength, Clay. I don't take positions there. I trim there. I only take positions in zones. The exits of zones, the breaking of zones. The RR is tight. Basing candles, I've seen it flip flop so many times. You can get whiplash. Your contracts could get whiplash. It happens a lot. So I tend to not put on size there. If I'm having a good day and I've hit on my first few trades, and now we're in between zones and we have just one support resistance level that we kind of have a guide to, I'll take a riskier trade there, but it'll be with less positions using profits. I don't know, hopefully I'm still in runners, so that's the other thing. So Again, you can use 2 minutes. Like you can see it. They started early here. They tried 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 here. They relaxed, waited. You can start seeing them coming in again. They finally got that push down. Yes, swing high, swing low. Price. That's how supply and demand is, right? When there's an influx of orders in an area, you get that imbalance move. So those are where you want to be able to take a position and with the other participants. It's where we get the most acceleration. And you can see here, buying, 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 buying. They just kept pushing this up. What's up, brother? So they're definitely gonna be my levels for this week on SPY. So again, above here, don't just start rejecting everything. Wait it out. You could wait for either. I will say this though, if we enter in this zone and we fall back below this zone, best R&R. Almost guaranteed, not guaranteed, but high probability setup for us to go back down. That's once we get up to this zone. Because that means they exhausted all buyers by here. And if they can't hold this zone, but you're gonna have to stay patient for this level right here. If we get above here, this level here will be the battleground between buyers and sellers. And then you'll see we'll get a, depending, could get a nice bounce out. This will be the, if we get up here and they reject it and we hold this level, that'll be the fuel they need to bounce us out. But if they break below here, that means now they've flipped sides. They do it. I've learned this style from them. I've seen it happen in book maps. I've seen it happen with Delta, with the Greeks. These dealers will assist that move. I didn't know about why they did that before. I just knew it was happening, and once I learned second order Greeks, I started realizing it was the dealers that were keeping their stops there, and when they get their stops ran on them, they're different than us long people that buy options. When they're selling options, what they'll do is they will hedge it and assist the move. Yeah. Yeah, Vanna Gamma Charm. Yeah, second order. So I didn't understand it before, but I just knew supply and demand with just the acceleration. What happens there is most likely somebody got stopped out. That's what I always thought. Shorts getting stopped out, but they are shorts, but they're dealers. So what they do is they buy and assist the move. So they'll hold the line as much as they can here, but if flow and the market is not assisting them in their position, they'll assist the overall market, and they never want to fight against the market. So they'll help in they'll buy a bunch of puts to hedge their puts that they're selling, and then look to find when they sell those puts that they use to hedge, when they can find some kind of area for strength to help push it back up, and that's why we get a lot of mean reversions. But yeah, Definitely want to be paying attention to there. And we'll get that acceleration move out, or we'll continue back up. But if we're below here, stay patient as well. I will feel more stronger about a puts position below 424.5. If we come into here, say you did swing puts, and we're down here, I definitely would trim my puts into the zone. Then watch. So below here, depending on where ES opens us up, we're gonna watch to see. So this is my line in the sand, kind of per se, area of strength for the market for what's gonna happen Monday. I'll watch to see if we're trading in between these two areas, see what happens. If we're below here, if you do have puts, I don't have any positions open right now. I'll definitely be looking to see us bounce potentially right here. Not sure how strong of a bounce we'll get. Definitely feel this area will be a stronger bounce because they don't want to protect. They want to protect this area right here. So I can see them bouncing us here. But just seeing how we came up, this level literally tapped it together. And this was the data print, and then we continued up. I'm not sure we get here, but if we do, they'll try to defend it. But here is where I would most likely see them probably bounce us here. So, and then if we're above this level here, I would wait to see on the 2-minute and 5-minute the price action, how it goes. If we hold this level here, good chance we're here. Could see a reaction rate in this level, because I believe this is where also the bears would probably be protecting. And then if we do get in here, definitely want to stay patient. You want to be in position. If we hold above here, probably in calls. Like, just don't hold for hope on these calls. Don't try to say I'll average down here or here or here. If you go in this plan and we're trading in here and you have this as your stop, make this your stop because it is a strong level. If it breaks, we're probably going to retrace down. But I like the way they closed this out on Friday, right in between this area here. So kind of keeping us guessing. So much easier when we open up inside one of these zones. But so I can't really say exactly how they're going to play it out right now, but we did get a tap into the daily supply. The weekly supply's top is right up here. We are in a big weekly supply, so this whole area is a weekly supply. I think it's up there right here. We got into it at 424 right here. This is a pretty big weekly supply zone we're in, but we've been holding it, so it does make me believe that they might want to go test the upper range. Let's get into ES now. So ES, this is my weekly zone. Wow, this candle is absurd. So again, I don't trade using this time frame. I just use it as a guide. So just like SPY, ES is also in a weekly supply zone. Massive ones. Definitely 44.20 will be a strong level. So I'm gonna go over this part fast on the daily. Is anything that I'm doing right now kind of confusing to you guys, or you guys all got this now? Just want to find that support. The difference between the zones, because we're all probably pretty good if you guys have been following me for a bit. Pretty good on the zones. The one thing I've noticed a lot of people having troubles with is just the exact levels inside the zones, where to take that positioning. Getting easy, right, Zach? That's perfect. That's daily. So you guys can see why I did all those zones. Haven't really did much. You could do this area, but not a fan of this area. I'll probably use hourly. Yeah, I could definitely show you. Yep. I always place more weight on ES, but I love the confluence levels. So say we break 4307, and it kind of guides me to know that, and what might happen actually. Now that you're mentioning that, we might be sitting right here as ES is breaking out of that zone. You could wait for spot, like you could take an early position on SPY for this breakout of the zone with ES above, but you definitely want to pay attention to where ES's resistance will be above here, because if ES resistance is above here and SPY's top of its zone is getting to the, like, very close to the same time, you know there's a good chance that ES could reject with SPY. And then you could wait just to see SPY break out of that level. That happens a lot where ES will now have broken out of a daily, but SPY will still be in its daily zone, but ES will reach its next resistance level above its daily. And you know what happens when we break a zone? Usually we go test resistance and reject to come back to do a retest, correct? So that could happen with SPY. So SPY could reject the top of its zone. ES has already reached its resistance above its daily zone, and now SPY rejecting will cause ES to retest its zone. And when ES now bounces, most times you'll see SPY will finally break back out of that zone, and now they'll both be above the daily zones. But it's just those balancing acts. You got to be able to kind of just see what's going to happen. But that's why you want to have that bigger picture, because ES, SPY, QQQ, they all do play a decent part with how each one reacts to each other. The safer entry would be just to wait for SPY to break above, or catch the scalping mode with ES, take the trade. Because what could happen is when ES breaks out of here, SPY could be just above here, right? So now ES is above its zone, SPY is right here, headed towards the top of its zone, and you can scalp this area, but it's not like you're like gonna hold this position for this whole breakout, because now ES will be reaching its rejection area. And what happens usually when we break out of a zone, we come back to retest. So I'm expecting a retest. So I'll most likely will enter a position off of ES breaking that zone. But I am going to be watching SPY to see when it's reaching its zone, top of its zone, and that's where I'm going to trim. I'm not going to just get out of my whole. If you have a smaller account with smaller position, I would definitely move your stops tight. You don't necessarily have to sell everything, but I would move your stops tight. Maybe if you have two contracts, sell one and move your stops up, and then just catch it on the retest on ES. So SPY can come back, probably retest somewhere here. ES will probably retest, wait for ES to bounce back out of its daily zone, and good chance SPY will break out of its zone the second time it touches the top. Does that kind of make sense, Zach? I always play that balancing act. So that's why you'll see me sometimes mentioning, like, I'll take a position off the ES level, but you'll see me mentioning my price targets for SPY because I just know how they react. So I'll be looking for that price target. And then I always tell, if you're in Team Bull, I always tell everyone when I'm in a position why I'd be looking to take a trim at those levels. It's because whichever one comes first. It's not like I say, oh no, that level doesn't mean nothing on SPY. ES is gonna keep going up. No, I don't treat it that way. I do know SPY still is a big player. There are people that trade SPY and don't trade ES, so there could be orders sitting at a specific SPY level. Then ES next level would be a little higher. So I definitely would trim or move stops up. If you take a position on ES, I do ultimately keep an eye on if I do take a position off the. No, thank you, man. Thank you, Cassidy. But exactly, if I do have a, I come into every trade with a plan. So like, this was the level I was looking. Um, I was looking for here. If we held here, I'll tell you, you're gonna see something about how I draw these zones and how they. Well, of course, you guys know this area. I had this area. See how we got that algo move, power hour move. Um, let's go into this zone. I had a few good levels in this zone where we kept beating. This is not recorded. I am gonna make a video. I am recording my prep video soon. I'm just doing my levels for the prep video, but it probably won't be out later, so that's why I kind of wanted whoever was up right now to have these levels so you guys can practice it yourselves. And I'll have that video out later on today. So you guys will see what happened here. Remember I told you guys I love these areas for just for strength and weakness. You can see why I did that pre-market area. Actually, I would probably move it here, right at the top here. It's a good level too. Those are my two areas inside the supply zone. Definitely could do one here, but I'm not gonna take a position off this one. Can't believe we're all the way back there. I'm gonna go over that right now. Well, SPY, I can show you with just SPY. We broke, so this was our morning pre-action. First 15 or first, yeah, it was pretty much the first hour. Once we held the zone, I thought we were going here first, but I wanted to wait to see what happened. I knew we were going here when we broke here that day and we came back and retested. I said, oh, so the way I thought for sure, if you know my strategy, we break out of a daily zone, we go to the next zone, right? So we broke out of here on the first. My target was here, but I did have these levels here, and we did tap this one and reject before the end of the day. So now I was aiming for this level here. We gapped up, we got in this zone, we broke above it. So now when we break above a next zone, my next target is the zone on the daily. So, but these are hourly zones. I always look for this retracement. Actually, I had a video recorded. Always, so I'll go through a quick analysis with you guys of how I play these zones. So, without even looking at this price action here, say this is the zone. I always look for this price action. So here's our daily demand, daily supply. We go test the first level. They retrace it, pick up any orders left over. Now we go to the next zone. And then once we get orders here, we see that we retest back here. And then if we retest back here and we bounce back out, we go to the next zone. That is how I always have seen and learned supply and demand. Pick up orders left off, come back, pick them up. Push them up. Orders here left off from this break, come pick it up. And then we continue on. Once we break a zone, so like right here, we broke a zone. I'm aiming for here for a retest. But there are times that this doesn't happen and this happens. What I see when I see this, I feel stronger about this than if we come here to do this. I don't think that happens. It's rare, needs news driven, but if you see us start disrespecting zones and just keep breaking everything, those are my two fundamental strategies of how I play supply and demand. Do I just front run these positions? No, but I wait to watch it. But this to here, they'll come all the way back here because of all these orders that were missed here. These guys will want these orders filled, so they'll assist the move here to bring it back down. But if these guys are satisfied and gotten all their orders picked up, they're not going to assist the move all the way back down. So you'll see there are days we've had price action where you've seen us go zone to zone, breaking all hourly zones, just going from daily zone to daily zone. More times you'll see on that same day we'll come right back to the daily demand. But if we just slow grind up like this, breaking zone to zone on the hourly, retest hourly, and this happens also on, you guys will see this. Look at this right here. This is how I learned supply and demand. Right there, came back down. This is on the daily time frame. This happens on the weekly. So here it broke some zones. You see how it got all the way here? This is what I mean. So we broke some zones here that we should have came and retested this area. What's the first thing it did? Came all the way back. Now we came back. We should have retested here. Should have got some orders there. We came back all the way here. But I never thought we were going to go back to the daily or the yearly low because we did this proper structure right here. So I never thought like it would need some crazy. news driven, something to get all the way back to this daily because they were properly retesting the zones. So they're protecting their orders. And now we came up here. It was a no-brainer. We finished this whole structure here that we were going to go back up here. But you can see why it does do that. This is how I learned supply and demand. Like through watching here how this was all happening on the down way, on the down move, downtrend. That's how I learned it. And then I've seen it on the smaller time frames, on the hourly. I realized where are they pivoting from? It was from the hourly zones, so I always now pay attention to the hourly for a retest rejection. If we break above it, I feel stronger about my conviction for a rejection gets stronger and stronger. That's why I didn't have a conviction for a rejection prior to up here. I still don't really have a strong rejection for this area. Maybe the top right up here, I do feel like we'll get a good retracement here. But my convictions for a rejection are when we just straight hulk through zones and get from a daily demand right to a daily supply. Then I feel like, okay, this daily supply should give us a good reaction. But if we're doing this, see now, this is why I do think we could get a retest. Because this area is what I'm targeting. So your hourly should be the same. So this zone and this zone should be the same zones. Yeah, I do chart SPX. I started charting SPX for now a month. It's helped me with my contract selection, helped me with my areas of strength. So before I was trying to use this fundamentals that I was using with the rejection retests on the hourly and dailies with SPX, and it's just too much gaps in there. The price action is not solid as ES where it has no lag time. But I've realized what SPX is for. Just like these areas here that I use, the areas of strength or weakness, SPX is perfect for it. Just gives you another confluence level. I do still take my positions off of the ES daily zones, but if I see SPX holding a certain zone, it's definitely something I always watch. There was a screenshot I was telling somebody above 4128 on SPX. We were going to go test 4166. Above 4166, good chance we could get to 4198. We got to 4195 pretty much in 2 days. And that's why I kind of continued holding. But on SPY, we were here Friday. We got up to here. We bounced out of here, broke out of here. I waited to see what we do the first hour. As soon as we broke here, my target's here now. And that's why I told you, I kept saying we're not done yet until we got 428.5. That was my main target. As you can see, we got there. I was fully happy with whatever happened the rest of the day. I didn't care about it. But that was my main target. I held kind of full position. Well, I took SPX 23.5 here. I had 42.50 SPX calls. And I bought them the night before for about like $3, $4. Had one almost towards the end of the day. I sold it at around $22, but should have held full position on those ones. They finished at $35. So now I'm gonna stay patient. We're in a supply zone. I love I love this break. I love a rejection. I love when we get in here and we get a rejection. But see, I do not like I'll play this rejection. If we're in here, I'm playing a rejection to here. If we don't get a retested here and we get up to this area here, I'm playing for a rejection here. Especially if we fall back below 428.5. I'm playing for a rejection here. I'm not going to ask for a limit down. I'm not asking to go all the way down here. No. I'm going to be realistic. I'm going to be looking for just this retest. If we continue down, I have runners for it, but I am moving my stops up. And if we come back into supply zone, that'll be another test after a retest of broken demand. So now my eyes will be on the prize at the top of the zone, break above. I really should make a zone above here. Well, I do have it, but I need one on the hourly where we can come back and retest off of. Just in case, just the way this market's been moving. This is an hourly level zone I'll be watching for a retest back into a broken demand. Or a broken supply, I mean. Wow, it's all basing areas. Wow. Seeing this price action here, when we break this zone, we are gonna be in for a treat if we break out. I'm probably not gonna do a zone. The zone won't even, it's good R&R actually. I should draw it out. Wow. If we break that zone, guys, we're gonna have some fun. What a good R&R zone. Definitely gonna take a rejection there. But if we break it back above this one, wow. I don't see much. Hopefully I'm in calls above this zone. Could see some action here. Probably break it. Hit one of these levels, come back, bounce it, and go up. But it was a fluid move down. When it's a fluid move down, we come back to that same price range. It's usually the same exact opposite way. Wow. I see them trying to hold this level. Trying to hold the supply zone this week. We'll see how it goes. That would be insane. 443? Oh, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, Savage was on a tear. Let me update my zone here. Not saying we're going to go up here. We are at a key area. I do expect a rejection just to retest this level. If we don't retest here, I'll have this level up for quite some time. In case if they do bring us here, I could see you come back all the way here. It's rare they leave untested, unretested zones. Especially with that kind of break. They probably will do this move all night. You guys probably come back here. And then we'll wake up. Price up here. I'm going to be a little more leaning to price action going higher. Just because if they did do that retest without us. But yeah, let's get back into ES. Where was I on my zones? Yeah, so you can see how price reacted there. Ran a big supply zone. I'm going to stay patient with ES. Basically use SPY more to guide us. But I do have this level 4307. I don't have no zones above. I gotta go somewhere soon, so I'm gonna try to speed this up fast. You guys can do this so fast. Oh, wait a sec. Might be choppy above here. Like I said, it would be probably the same price action if we get above. So this was pretty choppy. They might want to retest us all the way here. All right, that's it for ES. ES, I'm gonna be patient. You guys will probably see it in my watch list if you're in Team Bull. I'm gonna be using SPY levels more until we either break above here on ES or we get to this level here. I'm not gonna pay attention to here. We could reject here. If we're rejecting here from 42.92 to 42.56, we should see this on SPY with us coming back to retest here. Does that kind of make sense to you guys? Okay, perfect. Let me save this. Those are no good levels here. Only one I see is this. One rejection, two rejection, bounce, strong break. We got a strong break one way, and I bet we got a strong break the other way. Yeah, we got a strong break the other way. Definitely watching that. And now we'll go into SPX. Broke right out. So these were my levels for SPX. Coming into the week, as you can see, why I said those things I just said to you guys about 41.28. Such clean price action. Wow, we actually tapped it. I thought we were gonna go to 98. Tapped exactly the top of supply zone and rejected. It's very interesting. $43.06. My next level. Where can we retrace back to? I am looking for here. Actually, I'm gonna treat this one as a zone. Stay patient. Oh, I got anything above? Yeah, I don't expect us to actually. I can't say that. 42.90 to 43.25 should be good enough for one day. But for the week, my next target will be. Wow, I do not like that. Oh man. This is definitely gonna be it's gonna be an interesting week with SPX. Such a big zone. Probably will stick to that hourly on SPX. SPX. Do QQQ quickly. I'm gonna jump off soon. Let's do NQ. We're deep in my supply zones. Do 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 do. NQ levels worked like a charm. You see what I mean about retests, break? And where I got this zone from, I got it from here. I got this zone from here. And I got this zone from here. But you can see that fundamental trading style I have with supply and demand. Test the zone, come back to retest it. So this one did daily to daily. So remember how I was showing you guys in hourly zones? I could show you in hourly zones. Do this quickly with you guys. If it doesn't retest off of the hourly, we'll retest off of the daily. So here we'll just go through here. I'll just draw a previous hourly zone. If I could find one good one. I definitely would have treated this as the hourly zone. And this will actually, if you were here earlier, would have seen how I was talking about how I use the retests, part of my trading fundamentals of what to expect. And when things are starting to play out that way, I do know I have a sense of the direction. This is what I would do. This is an hourly zone. Let's just keep it as red for now for this explanation. So as price got back to this area, so normally how I play it out is like I was showing whoever was here earlier. I played this and I look for this to happen and then this. But if I see this, I'm expecting minimum to come here. Sometimes all the way. And as you can see here, we didn't come back. We went all the way up. They held it. There was actually another supply, well, consolidation area. But you can see how this area just got disrespected right to here. Does that make sense to you guys? And see how that happened? And then we continue back up. Got our full retest, and we continue to track up. So now, going into this week on NQ. Wow. Let's look at. Yeah, do I trade futures? No, not much. Just because I could trade SPX 23.5 pretty much all time, all day, all night. I never needed to trade futures. I'm pretty good on options. If you guys didn't get my levels earlier for SPY and ES and SPX, I am gonna post my video later. I do gotta jump off now. I'll be back in a bit. I appreciate you guys. You guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday morning. Hopefully I'll have that video out for you guys soon. Alright, you guys. Thank you guys. Thanks for stopping in. I'll check all that messages. Just gotta get out of here for now. Go deal with something. Alright, you guys enjoy. Study up. It's gonna be, if we break a supply zone this week, we're gonna have another insane week. So again, just to kind of show you guys the main levels I'm watching. 431 on SPY and ES 4307. What's up, Jay? Just about to jump off, Jay. I'll be on I'll have that video out later. But the reason I did this streaming was for you guys to kind of see how I prep, and you guys could do it yourself. Send me some chart examples if you have any questions. But I definitely want you guys to be able to get in this same mind frame that I get into when I'm charting these charts out for the week. You want to start at that week, see where we're sitting at, go into your daily, go into your hourly, kind of way I kind of explain to you what I'm looking to see, and then just executing when you see it. Don't don't double guess yourself. Before you change your strategy and game plan, just ask yourself, did I execute it as best as I can? And then you can get into, okay, now what did I do wrong? Because I did execute it the best as I can. So you set your plan, fully execute it, and then you go back and tweak it. So I did run through scenarios that I'm looking at for a SPY, and I'm going to execute it that way. And if it doesn't work out, it's part of the game. I go back to the drawing board and see which levels held and which didn't. So the heuristics are different, Larry. The way they receive data is different. Um, it's just like a flow service. A lot of people have flow, but it's the way they interpret the flow, the bid, the ask. It's just weird how they don't. For TOS and IBKR, the bigger difference is the after hours. They don't have after hours on the daily time frame for TOS. So the 16 hours definitely is closer matching than the non after hour daily candles. Yeah, exactly, Larry. How are you guys? Appreciate you guys. Peace.